Howdy folks, Bluesboy Jag here with yet another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's Rebel Rebel by David Bowie. Riff only, up close, 3-string cigar box guitar. We're tuned to open G. So this is an A string tuned down to G. And a D string tuned normal to D. And a G string tuned normal to G. 5th string, 4th string, and 3rd string from a regular 6-string guitar. So this is an interesting riff. It's really cool. It's a little tricky in one spot. You have to stretch your fingers to make the lick work. Let's get right to it. We're going to start out playing the 2nd string open, and then I'm using my 3rd finger on the 1st string, 9th fret. Down to 7, and you walk down to 6, and then you walk down to 4. So it's we're on 9, 7, 6, and 4. I'm using my fingers. You can use a pick if you like. That's the first half of the riff. And here's the tempo. We're going to start out slower than the record, and we'll speed up to the proper tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the fingering. Again, we're going to start from the 9th fret, going down to the 7th, to the 6th, and you hit the 4th fret twice. Now, the interesting thing about this particular riff is it goes against the beat. Well, not really. It's just that the notes are on the upbeat. So here's your downbeat, here's your upbeat. You can't see my feet, so it's ba 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 da ba. So the last 2 notes are on the upbeat. So you should be tapping your foot like this, along with the beat. So when you start the riff, you're on the downbeat. From the top. That's a pull-off there. I'm using my 3rd finger on that 1st note, my 1st finger on the next note, my 1st finger, and my 1st finger. So notice how those last 2 notes are chopped. Bump, bump. All right, now the next part. So I'm going to do a pull-off. Pull-off right here. Notice how I'm not doing this. I'm chopping these notes, so it's bump, 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 and then bump, bump. It's not da da da. It's bump, bump, bump. That means I'm choking that first note. Bump, bump. And your foot should be going like this. Bump, 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 bump. Then we'll finish off the lick. And notice how I'm choking these notes. All those notes are choked. That means they don't sustain. All right, now for the second half of this riff. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. And the reason it's not easy is because we're jumping and we're doing a big long stretch here. So the last part here is, so I've got my first finger on 1/4 and I'm hammering to 1/6 and pulling back off to 1/4. Oh, that's not so hard, Jag. Nope, it's not. It's the next part that's hard. A, it's hard because you have to jump right to a pull-off, and B, the pull-off is a little difficult because it's a long stretch. All right, so from the top, here we are. So it's bump ba bit a bow. So what we have to do here, the first finger is on 1/4. You only do it once. I'm just repeating so you know where we are. As soon as you do that pull off, right there, then you got to do another pull off, and you're using your pinky on the second string, 6th fret, and you're stretching your first finger all the way down to the 2nd fret. That's a pretty big stretch. That is not a stretch you would normally play on a guitar unless you're maybe Eddie Van Halen. So, notice that chop after that first note. I'm killing the note. So it's bump, ba-da. Now, pinky is on 2nd string, 6th fret, pulling off to the 2nd fret. And the good news is you get to pull off to 0, so no fingers on that one. So, so that's the main part of the riff there. And that's this last part of the riff. Now, I don't know how many times it does that. A lot. I don't know, 16, 17, 18, 20, a lot. Always tap your foot. It's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that up front. At first, to do this, unless you are a veteran guitar player. So tap your foot. This is where your foot taps. I'm snapping where your foot taps. Now let's take a look at something real close here. This is kind of boring to some of y'all, and to others it might be a little bit more interesting, but here's what's happening. The first 2 notes are on the downbeat, actually 3, and the next 2 are on the upbeat. I don't know if that helps or not. It might make it more difficult. As long as you're tapping your foot, so your foot absolutely must do this downbeat all the way through the whole riff. ba beedle-laddle-lom, be ba ba da ba ba beedle-laddle-lom, be ba ba da ba ba beedle-laddle-lom. And that's the entire song. The good news is there's only 2 riffs. And the bad news is it's a little tricky, but I shouldn't tell you that. I'm the instructor, right? I'm not supposed to say it's tricky. One more time. That's the whole thing. Be sure and tap your foot. Start out slow, like real slow, like double slow, like real double quadruple slow. Actually, don't go too slow. If you go super slow, it's actually harder. So don't try to play this by yourself at the right tempo right off the bat, unless you're somewhat of a seasoned guitar player. Start out slow, listen to it, get the riff, but start out by yourself slow, without YouTube, which would be like this. So start out like that and tap your foot. You can't really see my foot, but I'm tapping my foot like this. Try real hard, try real hard, try real hard to tap your foot like this. Always. It might be a little bit different if you're a beginner guitar player. It might be a little bit difficult, but whew, super important. Super quadruple important to tap your foot. It's always super important to start the song slower than the original. That can be difficult because you've heard the song probably 300 trillion times like I have, and you want to play it at the tempo, right? Plus, you just want to play it at the tempo because it's like, this is slow. This is not the right tempo. It's slow. I need to speed it up. Be very patient and slowly speed it up. Take it bit by bit. What I used to do is I would take this little riff, if I was learning it back in the day when I was learning how to play guitar, I would play the first part, just the first part, for one day. I'd play it, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes at a time, 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, right? So that's an hour or 2 hours in a day, but I don't do it all straight through. I might do 5 or 10 minutes and I get bored with it. I come back, I do something else, come back, do something else, come back. But I would just do that first riff. This is in my early days when I was learning guitar, right? That's all I would do, just that half. And I would do that 148 times, but I would do it broken down into 5 or 6 5-minute segments, right? So just do this. Do that for a while. Then you add the next part. And you will get bored because you're getting close. You know you're getting close to getting the whole thing done. You're like, I want to do the whole thing. Don't do that. Do it slow. Work up that hill to where you get the whole deal. Please subscribe. Check out my website, jagshouse.com. Cigar box guitars just like this one since 2004 in my 20th year. Please subscribe. Wait, did I say that? I probably already said that, but I'll say it again. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.